Doug Coyle. I'm here with Justin Hickey, head coach of Notre Dame rugby program. Justin, you've had experience several different places. You've been Davenport, head coach at Clemson University, and more recently Moon School District out in Western Pennsylvania, and now you're at Notre Dame. What is it like to coach at these various places? How does Notre Dame compare to them?
Sure, yeah. I think you look around the country. There's so many different ways to run a program, and so many different models and approaches that programs are taking and schools are taking. Whether it's the varsity environment like a Davenport, or purely club, kind of student run, student managed, coach led. A lot of differences, but I think the similarities you can point at, the institutional support that a lot of these programs are gaining. Obviously we had that at Davenport. When I got down to Clemson, the rugby program was club of the year, so the school was really behind them, and really passionate alumni base to help drive and support the program. And those are probably the similarities that you see at Notre Dame. Anything that has Notre Dame on the shirt or on the jersey, the alums are of course passionate about. The institution wants to see succeed, and the students want to be the best that they can be. So for me, I think Notre Dame has kind of been a culmination of all those things. The institutional support that we had at Davenport, and the alumni support that we had at Clemson, probably ramped up to kind of a whole new level, like I said, just with the passionate support that we have there, and the students that have the motivation to really be excellent.
You joined the program just prior to CRCs. Haven't had a chance to do much recruiting. This would be the first recruiting class. Took over for the legendary Sean O'Leary. What type of athletes are you looking for?
Yeah, and first I'll say, I shouldn't say I was surprised. I should have known what to expect with, the relationships that Sean built, and just the way that people look up to him and young men feel about him. I came in this year, we've got 19 freshmen on the roster, and those freshmen chose Notre Dame because of the institution, and that's somewhere they want to be, but also because of what Sean established here, and the program, and really kind of where he brought it to when he brought it back in 2007. So we felt pretty good we feel good about the class that we have this year. But going forward, really, and I took this approach at Clemson, is we're trying to identify the high schools and the students that fit the profile of a typical Notre Dame student. So if you look at various rankings, you'll see on average about 30 of the top 50 high school rugby programs in the country are Catholic schools, and those are students, like I said, that fit the profile of the Notre Dame student and what we're getting into the institution. So for me, it's all about fostering, in some places building those relationships with coaches, and building upon relationships that I already have with coaches at those schools, and putting Notre Dame on the menu for their students there.
Now, you were a coach of the year for the Varsity Cup when you were at Clemson. How important is Varsity Cup play for Notre Dame?
It's incredibly important to us. That was, one of the first questions I asked the students when we sat down, even as far back as kind of my interview process and campus visit, is how they felt about the Varsity Cup, what we wanted to do, what their motivations were going forward, and it's incredibly important to them. I think for me and for what I've seen with my experience with it, the Varsity Cup has done a great job with making it a great student experience, from the first rounds all the way to the final in the stadiums at the stadium at Rio Tinto. To come to institutions like the U.S.Naval Academy, and be hosted in some of the best collegiate rugby venues in the country, and play against and with the best collegiate rugby programs in the country. really amplifies the student experience, and it's something that we feel really strongly about. We're still chasing our first win, so that's motivating us, and hopefully this year we'll be able to achieve that.
This is a huge day at the Naval Academy. It's the opening of John Prusmack Rugby Complex. You're taking on highly ranked Navy in the event. Yet you balance coaching with being one of the outstanding coaches of USA Rugby. You were recently on tour to Australia with the Collegiate All-Americans. Tell us a little bit about that tour.
Sure. First of all, I'll say this is incredible. It's incredible to be here today. I was here a couple years ago when where we're standing right now was a pile of dirt, and it was just kind of a vision of what Mr. Prusmack was going to help build here at the U.S.Naval Academy, and to see it now and to see it standing, and people snapping pictures, it's pretty incredible to be here and to see these venues and facilities continue to be built across the country is amazing. But back to your question, balancing coaching a college program and coaching and participating with USA Rugby and the Collegiate All-Americans, it's a nice balance for us because the collegiates compete in the off season. It fits into the competitive season, so we have a nice kind of build up to it, and kind of takes us right in, through the summer and into our fall season. But we were thrilled to take the collegiates to Australia this summer. It was kind of 2 years in the making. I think it was sort of on the table last year, and it would have been a little bit rushed to try to pull it off. And we got the generous support of some sponsors. Our friends at Well Dog out in Wyoming were our main sponsor and kind of our main driver, and we were able to put it together for us. They have a headquarter in Queensland, in Toowoomba, so they did a great job of really kind of pulling together a lot of community support. We felt really welcome. Got a lot of media exposure down there, and we competed well on the field. So terrific experience, one that we're hoping to build on and grow on, and maybe extend the tour out a little bit more, and just continue to identify the bright young athletes that we have here in this country. And if you look at the select roster, starting this weekend against the Fiji selects, there's a good handful of young men that were on that tour that'll be pulling on a USA Select jersey this weekend. So it's exciting to see that gap kind of bridged, and these guys take the step up through the program.
Well, thank you for taking some time to talk about Notre Dame rugby and rugby in general. I wish you every luck in building the program.
Absolutely. Thanks, Doug. Always a pleasure.